I've been a truck driver for about 9 years now, mostly running loads across the Midwest. This happened to me in early 2020, just a couple months before the pandemic locked everything down. I was running an overnight haul from Columbus, Ohio to a small town outside of St. Louis, Missouri. Route 49. Quiet, uneventful, just how I liked it. It was around 2 a.m. when I noticed the fog rolling in. I'd seen fog before, plenty of it, but something about this one felt wrong. It didn't gradually settle over the road like normal. It was sudden, thick, and clung to the windshield like wet cloth. My headlights barely cut through it. I slowed the rig down, even though the road was empty, because visibility dropped to maybe 10 feet. And then I saw her. At first, I thought it was an animal, maybe a deer on the side of the road. But as I got closer, I realized it was a young woman. She was standing on the shoulder of the highway, completely still, facing the road. Long black hair, white dress, no shoes. Her arms were hanging limp at her sides. The fog gave everything a silvery glow, but she looked almost solid, almost too real in the mist. I didn't stop. Not right away. You might think I'm heartless, but any trucker worth their salt will tell you that picking up random people in the middle of the night isn't the smartest move. There have been carjacking setups worse. I slowed down and passed her slowly, trying to get a better look. She didn't move, didn't blink, just stare at my truck as I rolled by. About a quarter mile down the road, my conscience got the better of me. Maybe she'd been in an accident. Maybe she was lost or escaped from somewhere. The fog made it hard to tell where I was exactly, but there weren't any houses or exits nearby. Against my better judgment, I turned the truck around. When I got back to where I saw her, she was gone. No sign of anyone. I pulled over and got out with my flashlight, walked up and down both sides of the road calling out. Nothing. Just the thick silence of the fog. I even scanned a tree lean in case she'd wandered off. Still nothing. I got back in the truck and kept driving, unsettled but trying to shake it off. About 10 minutes later, my dashboard lights started flickering. Then the radio switched on by itself, just static. I reached to turn it off, but before I could, a voice broke through. Just one word, clear as day. Help. I froze. My hand hovered over the knob. The word repeated again. Help. This time softer, almost pleading. I switched the radio off completely. I kept driving, hands tight on the wheel, heart pounding in my chest. At this point, I was trying to rationalize it. Maybe I was just tired. Maybe it was a CB transmission picking up some weird local signal. My mind was just playing tricks on me. I hadn't slept much the day before. Yeah, that had to be it. But then the smell hit. It started as a faint whiff, like damp earth, then stronger. Rot. Like wet leaves mixed with the stink of decay. Something was in the cab with me. I glanced at the passenger seat. She was sitting there. The girl from the road. Hair soaking wet, dress stained with something dark. Her bare feet leaving muddy prints on the rubber floor. She didn't say anything, just turned her head slowly toward me. Her eyes were completely black. I screamed and swerved the truck so hard I nearly went off the road. When I looked again, she was gone. I pulled over and just sat there shaking. My breathing was ragged. I felt cold, like ice had settled into my bones. I checked every inch of the cab, every nook, every compartment. Nothing. No signs of her. But the muddy footprints, they were still there. I didn't stop again that night. I finished my route, got to the delivery point just before dawn. The fog lifted with the sun like it had never been there. I handed off the paperwork, didn't say a word about what had happened. Who would believe me? When I got home 2 days later, I couldn't shake it. I searched for hours online, ghost stories, disappearances, anything related to Route 49. And finally, I found something. A local forum thread. A woman had gone missing in 1998 along that same stretch of road. Her name was Melissa Harper. 23 years old. She'd been in a fight with her boyfriend, left a rest stop on foot, and was never seen again. No remains, no clothing, nothing. Someone posted a scanned news article with her photo. It was her. The girl on the road. The same face, the same hair, same dress. I tried to contact the forum poster, but the account was inactive. I even called the local sheriff's office in that area, asking for public records. They brushed me off, said they didn't comment on open cases. I'm not sure they ever even looked into it deeply. Maybe she was just another forgotten girl who vanished on a lonely highway. But I know what I saw. And I know this. I'm not the only one. 2 years later, I met a guy named Vince at a diner in Iowa. He was a trucker too. Been at it even longer than me. We started swapping stories over bad coffee and bacon. I wasn't going to bring up what happened, but somehow the topic of weird road stuff came up. And then he said it. You ever driven Route 49 through Ohio at night? I froze mid-bite. He looked up. I suddenly serious. You ever seen the barefoot girl? I didn't say anything. Just nodded slowly. Vince stared down at his coffee. Yeah, she sat in my passenger seat once. Didn't speak. Just stared. Smelled like dirt and death. I jumped out of the truck and ran down the road for half a mile before I realized I'd left it running. I asked him when this happened. He said, 2014. Since that night, I avoid Route 49 whenever I can, even if it means taking the long way. That fog never shows up on weather apps. The road always looks empty and safe from a map, but it's not. Sometimes I think she's still trying to get home. Or maybe she's trying to tell someone what happened to her that night in '98. But whatever it is, she's still out there. And if you ever find yourself driving Route 49 between 2 and 4 a.m., don't stop for anyone.